Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows about those who come to the masjid, learning something about Islam, learning something about the good things about Islam and bad things that we should avoid. Uh, the Malaika write the names of those who come to the masajid. Okay, they write the names. So in Yawm al-Qiyamah, you'll be very proud when you see your name recorded with those who come to the masajid praying, Salat al-Maghrib, and also attending a class. Okay, today is the third story. And this story is a little bit sad and touching the heart. But before we start with that story, let us review. You remember the story of last time?
The way it like the tribe and then the hypocrites and all.
Okay, so the hypocrites who wanted to start a fight and they threatened to drive out Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam from Medina, and they were bad, right? Abdullah ibn Salul, right? And Muslims, two young men who fought with each other, right? The story before it, do you remember?
Abu Ghayyad.
Abu Ghayyad, the old man who was very poor and he found 1,000 golden coins. You remember? It was nice ending because the owner of these coins, that money, he gave it all to him, right? Because his father told him, look for the poorest person and give him all of that wealth. Okay, the story today is a little bit of a sad story and maybe unexpected. It's not exactly what you wanted. But it's very important because we don't want you and as Muslims to do what this guy did. So there's a lesson for us, not to do like him, and there are many other lessons. Okay? The guy, his name is Jabalah ibn al-Ayham. He was a king before Islam and in early Islam. Jabalah ibn al-Ayham. Okay? He was the king of Arabs in Syria and surrounding area. Sham, Syria, Jordan, Palestine, Lebanon. He was the king there. And he was affiliated with the Romans. Islam came and spread, and he was stubborn, thinking that he is the best of all people. How come I follow Muhammad? He did not become a Muslim. But Islam spread, and more people started coming to Islam, and Islam became strong. And even some people from his own tribe and surrounding area, from the Arabs, they became Muslims. So finally, Jabalah ibn al-Ayham, this king, he decided to be a king during the time of Umar ibn al-Khattab. But he was not sincere in it. Jabalah decided to be a Muslim, but he was full of himself. This is why we say you have to be humble before Allah. Remember always Allah, to be humble, but to be arrogant. I am the best. Okay? Look what will happen to him now. So he sent a letter to Umar ibn Khattab. Sama Malik? He sent a letter to Umar ibn Khattab saying, I am coming to you. And Umar ibn Khattab was very happy. And like seeing a king coming, he said, okay, you're very welcome. When he came to Medina, he did not come alone. He brought many of his men, fighters, riding on their horses, wearing the nicest clothing, carrying their swords, wearing gold, carrying everywhere. He was wearing the best clothing with gold, strips here and there, very full of himself and arrogant. But Umar ibn Khattab wanted him to be a Muslim, so he welcomed him. You are a king, you are very welcome. And he said, okay, tell me about Islam. Umar ibn Khattab explained to him the basics of Islam, and he said, I want to be a Muslim. Umar ibn Khattab and all Muslims around him, seeing somebody becoming a Muslim, they were very happy, right? Expecting that in the future, inshallah, he will develop, right? He will understand that Islam is about humbleness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, etc., right? Umar ibn Khattab was about to go to Hajj. Okay? So Jabalah, the king, said, can I accompany you and make Hajj? And Umar ibn Khattab said, yes, you're very welcome to join us. So he decided to go. And he traveled with Umar ibn Khattab with all of his servants and fighters and people around him. They went and they made Hajj. While he was circling around the Kaaba, something happened. Somebody, a simple person from the Bedouin tribes, stepped on the garment, the clothing of Jabalah. By mistake. You know, around the Kaaba is very crowded. Okay, a lot of people coming from everywhere. Like hundreds and thousands of Muslims, they come. So he stepped in the clothing of Jabalah and he tore it. And Jabalah was a king. His hand, he slapped the man with full strength on his face and he broke his nose. He did not respect the Kaaba. He did not respect the place. This is the most important masjid, the Kaaba, right? The Masjid al-Haram, the sacred masjid. He did not respect. He's a Muslim. He smashed his nose. And the man immediately went to Umar ibn Khattab. Umar was not exactly at that time beside him. He was away. He went bleeding to Umar ibn Khattab, saying, Jabalah, the king, smashed my nose. Why? He said, because I stepped on his clothing. Umar ibn Khattab was about justice. He's a Muslim and always about justice and fairness. And he learned from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam that all people are equal and justice is very important. Adl. Al-adl. So he sent someone to bring Jabalah. Jabalah came and he told him, is this true that you slapped this person and you broke his nose? And he said, yes. He said, why? He said, he stepped on my clothing. Umar asked him, did he do it intentionally? He said, I don't know. Probably, I don't know. People around him, they say by mistake. The masjid, by mistake, is very crowded around the Kaaba. Then Umar ibn Khattab told him, you have to make peace with this man that you beat. Reconcile, make peace with him. Apologize, say, I'm sorry. Maybe you need to give him some gift or something. Make him happy. If he says, I forgive you, then this is the best thing to do. Otherwise, Umar Khattab is talking to the king now, Jabalah. He said, you will be punished. He said, what do you mean punished? He said, the man will smash your nose, will hit you on your nose as you smashed his nose. Or give him a gift, make him happy. You can reconcile. You are a rich king, you have wealth, you can do something. Apologize to him. Jabalah said, he was full of himself. He said, but I am a king. And he's just a guy from the desert. Umar Khattab told him that Islam is for everyone and all people are equal before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you have to apologize. Say sorry. Maybe he will forgive you. Maybe if you give him some golden dinars or something, I don't know, like solve it with him. You are like an old, a big man, you can solve it. He told Umar Khattab, I am going to think about it. I'll tell you tomorrow. Umar Khattab said, okay. He went home or to his area or to his tent and he decided to escape, to run away. At night, he gathered his men and he told them we are leaving. Some of them became good Muslims immediately. They say, we are not going with you. We are Muslims and we want to stay and continue the Hajj. So they stayed. But others, they followed him. And he left. Back to Syria, to the Roman lands, to the non-Muslim lands. And he went to the emperor. And he knows already, he was a friend with the emperor. The emperor was like the Roman emperor at the time, or Byzantines. And he told him, I left Umar and I left that area and I came to you. And the emperor, he hated Islam. So he was waiting for any opportunity, said it properly. So he was waiting for an opportunity for someone like that to come to him. So he said, welcome. I'll give you everything you wanted. And he said, I'll give you a lot of gold. I'll give you a lot of lands. But leave Islam. Do you think that he accepted that?
Yes.
He did, unfortunately. And this is the sad story. Someone who started thinking about Jannah and reward of Allah, or having a gold and lands and etc. in this life. So he decided to leave Islam. Just a short period of time. This is why it is a sad story, and no one should do that. So he left Islam, and he stayed with that emperor, giving him a palace and lands and servants and all of that for years. Then Umar ibn Khattab, one day, there was a correspondence, or he wanted to send a message to the emperor, calling him and inviting him to Islam, to the emperor himself. and also other issues to discuss. So he sent somebody from the Muslims who was a friend of the king Jabalah. Okay, he was a king. He carried the message of Umar al-Khattab and he went to the emperor, the Roman emperor, and he greeted him and he said, this is a letter from Umar al-Khattab inviting you to be a Muslim, telling you about Islam, and also we have to discuss certain issues. After 1-2 hours, he finished all of that. He was about to go home to Umar al-Khattab. But the emperor said, don't you know that your cousin is here, your friend? Why don't you visit him? Go. So the emperor suggested that the Muslim go and visit Jabalah the king. They were friends long time ago. He said, I went. When I went to the place and I arrived, I saw a huge palace with many servants and fighters and wearing clothing. And Jabalah was there with the best clothing. He welcomed me. They were friends long time ago. And now there is a Muslim who's coming from Umar al-Khattab, and Jabalah the one who escaped and ran away from Umar al-Khattab, okay? So he welcomed him, the king, Jabalah, and he said, okay, come with me and we'll have a dinner very soon. They sat and they enjoyed the dinner. They were all the friends. Then, after they finished their dinner, he brought some singers. This is the king. And he said, sing for me. And they started singing for him old songs, poetry, reciting poetry that was related to his father, because this Jabalah the king, his father was a king and his ancestors were kings. So a lot of poets, they composed poetry, like saying that they are great. This is before Islam. So the singers started reciting that poetry, that you are the king and you are your father and etc. Talking about all of that. And Jabalah was very happy and relaxed and enjoying his time and his food and the poetry and servants and wealth and all of that. The Muslim, he was his friend. He wanted to advise him and to remind him that you should be a Muslim. And what is with Allah is better than what is in this life. Do you agree? What is more important? Jannah, staying there forever, or just a few years here in this life? Which one is more important? The hereafter. So what happened? If you want to. Yes, go. Don't ask me next time. Okay, so what happened? Then he asked the singers to sing again. And they said, again they recited and they sang good songs. And he was very, very, very happy. Then he paused. This is Jabalah the king. Then he paused. Oh, the poem was for Hassan bin Thabit, was another poem that Rasulullah that became a Muslim. But he composed that poetry before he became a Muslim, okay? So he says, yeah, I remember Hassan. He did this poetry long time ago. I have to reward him for that. Then he sat for a while. He paused. He remained silent. Then he told the singers, he said, can you sing for me the poetry that I did myself, that I composed? Because he was a poet too. So he was educated. He said, can you sing the poem that I composed? And they started singing. But it is a very sad poetry. What they said, the summary of it in English, he said, those leaders who have honor about himself, they left Islam because of a slap on the face that they did not want any shame to come from it. Then they continue reciting and singing the poetry. He said, I was arrogant and I was stubborn. Therefore, I became a loser. I wish, this is the poetry that he composed. And they were singing. He said, I wish my mother never gave birth to me. And I wish I accepted what Umar said. I wish I can go back. I am a loser, the one who, as if he slapped his own eye and blinded himself. He's talking about himself, this poetry. Then he said, I wish I can go back to the areas of my people, even if I am a slave to be in that land. He started crying. This is the king, Jabalah. He started crying. And his friend beside him started crying too. He said he kept crying. All of his tears falling on his beard. This is the king. because of what happened, because he took the wrong decision and he was arrogant. Then when he calmed down a little bit, his friend told him, he said, why don't you become a Muslim again and go with me? He said, now? And he said, yes, it's never late. Corrected. He said, will Muslims accept me? And he said, yes, they will accept you. And many people were enemies to Islam, but when they repented to Allah and became Muslims, Islam will accept them. Come with me, come with me. He says, no. But take 500 golden dinar for you. And this is 500 dinar, golden coins. Give it to the poet that they recited his poetry, who used to say good poetry about my family and my ancestors. Take them. He says, I don't want it. The Muslim said, I don't want your money. I want you to be a Muslim. This is a friend, and he is a real Muslim. He says, I don't want your money. I want you to be a Muslim. And he says, take that money, I don't want it, and give it to the poet. He carried that money, and he went to Umar ibn Khattab. And he told him, I went to the emperor. Then the emperor suggested that I go and visit the king, Jabalah. And Umar ibn Khattab said, what he's doing? He said he's regretting. He's enjoying the life and the wealth and the food and all of that, but he is deeply inside him, he's very sad and he's regretting. And I told him that Umar and Muslims will accept you, just come. But he refused. Then Umar ibn Khattab died. Then Uthman bin Affan lived and died. And the king is still alive. And Ali bin Abi Talib died. Then during the time of Muawiyah, this is next. So Abu Bakr became a Khalifa, then Umar ibn Khattab, then Uthman bin Affan, then Ali bin Abi Talib, then Muawiyah. During the time of Muawiyah, somebody visited him from those who were close to Muawiyah. And the king, Jabalah, still he's regretting his decision leaving Islam. He said, I wish, if I know that Muawiyah will accept me as a Muslim and will give me lands in Damascus where my ancestors and my father was a governor, then I will go to him. Then this Muslim carried the message all the way to Muawiyah. And he said, I met King Jabalah. And he said he wished to be a Muslim again. And he wished that you welcome him. If he knows that you will welcome him and he will get you some lands in the area where he was living, then he will come back. What Muawiyah said, he said, I will do it for him. And he sent a messenger quickly. He said, take this letter and tell him that yes, Muawiyah will welcome you, will give you lands, will give you some of the good place to live in, and will accept you as a Muslim. Just before the messenger arrived his area, already Jabalah was dead. Already he died as a non-Muslim. As a non-Muslim. Sad story? A little bit? Touching the heart? What lessons we learn from it? The story of Jabalah. Yes?
If you, the first time, if you regret something, mostly you can't, do it again.
Okay, so if you regret something, then you cannot do it again? Or some people will take a decision, then they would regret, right? Some people will do something that they would regret. Okay, so the lesson is, don't do anything that you will regret from, right? Don't do bad things. Try to avoid bad things. Okay, but if somebody does something wrong, do you think that he should correct and apologize? Yes. Okay, what else? Abdurrahman, that's good. Listen.
It's never too late to turn back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Never late to come back to Allah. Whatever you do in this life, if you commit a mistake, if something wrong happens, don't be stubborn like Jabalah the king. Return back to Allah. Will Allah accept anyone who comes back to him, repenting, saying, I am sorry? Will Allah accept that? Yes. Did Rasulullah Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam accept some people who were very bad, then they decided to be a Muslim? Did Rasulullah accept them? Yes, he accepted anyone who came back to him. Right? So never late. It is not late to come back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In your life, you will get older, guys. And maybe at any time, somebody will commit a mistake. Come back to Allah. Allah is Ghafoor Rahim. You know what does it mean, Ghafoor Rahim? It's all
forgiving and all merciful.
All merciful. Allah is Ghafoor Rahim. Okay, what other lessons we learn from the story? What about justice in Islam? Do you accept the justice? Or because he's a king, he can beat anyone and nobody should punish him? Islam, there is justice, right? Somebody commits a mistake and he transgresses or he does wrongs people, then he has to be punished for it, right?
Right.
Or you want, rich people to beat and oppress and wrong, poor people. Is that Islam? No. Okay, a lesson for us. If you are rich, if you are strong, if you are smart, if you don't wrong people who are below you, who are less than you in any way. Do you agree on that? So let not wealth or money or intelligence or anything make you oppress people. Jabalah, he slapped the person. He thought that because I am a king, I can beat anyone. So if you are strong, can you beat other people?
No.
If you have a sharp tongue and you can talk and curse, should you not curse people? Because you can be careful from these mistakes. Okay? And what else can learn? Yes?
Rich people are mostly alone. Will think that they have the most power.
Some, not all of them. Yes, some rich people think, or some people who have power think that you can do whatever they want, right? So, what is the lesson? We have to be humble. You know what does it mean, humble? Always to remember that Allah is above you and stronger than you, right? Always saying, oh Allah, help me to be good. And remembering that Allah can give you money and can take it away, can make you strong and can make you sick, right? So always you are humble before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Do you agree on that? That always be humble before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? Never ever be like Jabalah, the king. Never ever be what? Arrogant, right? Be humble before Allah, don't be arrogant like him. And be careful. Some people, some bad people are waiting for you to commit a mistake, then will tell you, come, we'll give you something. Be careful from that. Yes.
And just because you're the king doesn't mean you boss everyone around.
He can boss everyone around within the norm because he has to give command. But he should not be arrogant. He should not be a tyrant. Tyrant, oppressor. The one who beats, the one who oppresses people, right? A bad king. So you can give orders, but still you are nice, right? Okay, let us stop here, inshallah. And which part of the story you like the most or touches you the most? Which part is a little bit touching or sad or very happy or something?
When the Muslims, when this because of when the Muslims do Hajj and become.
Okay.
When he hears his own poem and they start crying.
When he started crying and the poem, it's very sad. Like every day it seems that every time he's happy, then he becomes sad. What else?
At the end where the message was about to reach him, but then he died.
Yeah, the messenger of Muawiyah was about to reach him, telling him come, and he accepted, but he died just before it. He lost. Now, which one is more important? Okay, a lesson that is very important. I forget to mention, but anyhow, let me see what you want to say. Yes, Abdullah. You want to say something? Which part of the story you like?
When Jabalah slaps the person.
When he slapped, or when Umar said that you have to be slapped?
No, when he gave the gift that the
Oh, he gave the gift, right? He was generous. He was not. Yes. Any other lesson? Okay, guys. If you commit a mistake, and they're asking you, did you do that? And you know that there is a punishment if you tell the truth, that yes, you broke something, or you did something, or you killed somebody, or you started a fight. And you'll be punished now by your teacher or your parent or somebody. Are you going to tell the truth and get the punishment or not? Why? Why?
Because if you don't, it's going to be worse and they're going to find out.
What else? Why?
And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching.
Which one is easier? The punishment in this life or the punishment in the next life in Jahannam? Which one is serious, more dangerous? Jabalah ibn al-Ayham, which one is easier for him? To give that man some money and to say, I am sorry, Maybe if he is stubborn, maybe he will smash him, but he can give him. He was wealthy. He could, give him a lot of money and says, go. A little bit of difficulty, right? Maybe a little bit of punishment. Or to stay in the hellfire forever. Burning. Which one? Jabalah ibn al-Ayham, he did not want to take this small difficulty and punishment or mistake, the consequence of his mistake in this life, but he's going to pay big price in the hellfire, right? Because he left Islam and he will stay in the hellfire forever. And he knows Islam very well, right? So the punishment in this life, always, if you are punished in this life and ask Allah for forgiveness, let us say you do something wrong and you apologize to your parents, even if they punish you, remember that this punishment is small and it's easier than taking the punishment of the hereafter. Can you believe it that some people came to Rasulullah in the past? I'll tell you something strange. That some people came to Rasulullah saying, Allah's Messenger, I committed a mistake, punish me. I committed a mistake, punish me. You know why? Why they did that? Because they don't want to be punished when? In the next life, right? Because Rasulullah in early Islam, when people came and became Muslims, he said if somebody commits a big mistake and he is punished in this life, Allah will not punish him in the next. But if someone commits a mistake and nobody asks about him, nobody knows about him, and he makes istighfar, he says, oh Allah, forgive me, and he's not punished because nobody knows about it, then Allah most likely will forgive him. Okay? So punishment or difficulty in this life is way smaller than the big punishment in the next life. If you commit a mistake, say I committed a mistake. Okay? Let us end here. Inshallah. See you next week. But we need to find the candy first. Come here. Come, Abdullah. Come.